Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Ho here, and you'll be spending the next 60 minutes with me. So I'd like to thank you for giving your precious time, and I hope to share as much as I can. It's a 60-minute session, and social media in e-commerce is a very big topic, right? So I will try my best, and I hope that you will be able to pick up some of the trends and some of the best practices that will help you to do social media to promote your e-commerce portal, right? In some of the key platforms in social media, right? So I will introduce you a strategy that is a best practice that has been implemented by big brands like Coca-Cola and even like Unilever and things like that. But one of the things that for social media is that everyone today can do social media marketing because you can spend a minimum of $5 and you can reach your target consumers. So everyone is good on that? All right. So yeah, this is my slide apparently. Okay, so that's me. So I just want to ask the audience from the floor, how many of you have been advertising in social media? Can I see show of hands? Right, a lot from back there, right, and front here. So majority of you have not advertised in social media before, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, or even Twitter. So majority of us, right? Yeah. So just to share with you, today companies like Facebook, Google, right, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, they are all making marketing, right, easy for any businesses, whether big or small. Okay? And the thing is that for Facebook companies, they are designed to help small shops, right? Because you can actually target very accurately your target market. Say for example, in CTEC, if you have a shop today here, I can target people who's coming to this area within 1 kilometers. That kind of position, right? So marketing essentially is basically about promoting your business. Because today, when you are doing a business, you have a business, what you need is customer, right? Business with no customers is not a business. And today, if you walk around and ask people who are business owners, how is sales? What do you think the answer will be? Bad, right? Because today we live in a world where there's competition, right? And the hardest question we ask ourselves as a business owner is, what's so special about your product? Is your product meeting the needs of the people? So these are some very fundamentals that I need to share with you as we dive into this topic of social media and dive into this topic of marketing. Because marketing that is done wrongly will cost you a lot of wasted money. Yeah, a lot of wasted money. And I'm sure those people on the back and also the front who's been doing Facebook advertising, right? You all do Facebook advertising? People from the back?
Yes.
All right. Do you find that your cost per click is getting more and more expensive?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why Mark Zuckerberg, which is the founder of Facebook, is getting richer and richer every day. All right. So let's dive in today on social media marketing for e-commerce. So when you do e-commerce, I know most of you may not even have a website. All right. So if today you don't have a website, I will encourage you to start having a website first, because a website needs to work hand in hand with your social media page, whether it's a Facebook page, whether it's your Instagram account, or Twitter, or your LinkedIn page. You need to have a website. You need to drive traffic to your website, because your website is a representative of your e-shop. Is your e-shop, right? So you don't want to spend a lot of your money in terms of doing just social media marketing, all right? So you want to drive traffic to your website. Okay, let's look at marketing. So marketing today is in a journey of what I call amazing transformation. So I'm sure you have heard of this term, this big word called digital transformation. It's really a big word. And today, actually, to be honest, because I've been doing this digital marketing thing for the last decade, about 10 years, since the emergence of Google, right? Actually, there's no such thing as called digital marketing. Marketing is marketing, right? Fundamentally, it's marketing. And I had the privilege to speak to one of the audience here, one of the participants here today, and he said, do you know this term called ROPO? R-O-P-O. R-O-P-O. Sorry, man. It stands for, anybody want to make a guess? Chu, you cannot answer this, Chu. What is this abbreviation? R-O-P-O. Make a guess. You do it all the time. In fact, all of you do it all the time. It's called, want me to give you an answer? Research online, purchase online. Simple, isn't it? We do a lot of research, right? In our mobile phone. And sometimes we purchase online too. Yeah? Okay, so today, consumers like yourself is being empowered by the smartphone. Yeah? So everyone has a smartphone and we can do a lot of tons of stuff on our smartphone. So marketing is being empowered today by mobile. Yeah? And the smartphone basically has a lot of data that tracks you. Like today, Facebook knows, Google knows, Instagram knows, WhatsApp knows, right? And all the advertisers, if they want to know, that all of you here, 200 odd people here, are in CTAC right now, real time. We got real time data on you right now. So where's your privacy? No privacy. Big Brother is watching. So, and this has empowered what I call marketing. So marketing, remember, is the way, marketing by definition, a layman definition means promote your business so that you can get customers. And not only that, when you get customers, you want them to continue to buy from you, right? Because repeat customer is so important, right? And you want your customers to stay loyal to you. And at the end of the day, you want the customer to rave about you, to speak good about you. And then when you reach that stage, your customers are selling for you. Isn't that a good thing? You want your customers to sell for you, right? And all you need to do is pay zero cost. But you got to cultivate, this is what I call this marketing funnel. This marketing funnel, which I will share with you in a short while. Okay? So, it's algorithm, it's machine learning and artificial intelligence. All these are big words. Basically, what we have today is a super smart computer. Quote unquote, Jack Ma says, today, please don't compete with the supercomputers because you cannot calculate as fast as them, right? So you need to what? To have what? Creativity and empathy. Two words I want to share with you. Creativity and empathy. Let's talk about empathy. Sorry, talk about creativity. Today, we got to be creative. If you want to capture the attention of our audience, we got to be creative. So that post that you actually put on your Facebook newsfeed, right? When you create a post, whether it's a video, an article, right, has to be creative, has to be eye-catching, right? Because people only first look at the first 3 seconds, right, of the video, right? So if they're not interested, they will just thumb away. So in today's world, in today's human being species, one of the enlarged organ or parts of our body is going to happen, right, in the next 10 years is our thumb. Our thumb is going to get bigger and bigger. And we are going to be like monkeys really, right? Yeah? Because we walk like this all the time, right? Right? Yeah? And we always look at our smartphone and keep on scrolling. We always do our ropo, right? Yeah? So the thing is that we got to be creative, right? As we do marketing, as we promote our business, we need to be creative. And social media is free to access, right? It's like free TV station. Remember those days where we have TV 1, 2, and 3? You all still watch it? Probably not, right? But you have heard of free terrestrial TV, right? Right? So the thing is that you watch it because you wanted to watch it. They got good stuff in there. So same thing like social media. You go and look at the news feed and stop, thumb stop at those news feed because you are interested in that content, right? Yeah? So let's use the term advertising here. So many times when we talk about marketing, people always think about advertising. So advertising, in fact, used to be very effective, but today, very ineffective. And if you do marketing as your first step in social media, advertising, that means do your Facebook ads, your Instagram ads, and all those things, without doing your branding first at the top, you will, number one, waste a lot of money. Because there is, number one, no brand trust. The word trust. Right? So you can shout out your name as many times, your company name as many, or your brand name as many times as possible, but people don't care. Why should they care? So you need to articulate the reason why they should care. Right? So you need to look at your business. So the thing is that never start off with advertising. Start off with what I call branding first. Right? Make sure your brand creates value to the end user. What is the problem that you're solving today? So brands like Grab, what is the problem that are they solving? I'm sure majority of this room here, 90% of you got a Grab app, right? And you don't need Grab for car, you also Grab for food. True? Yeah? So why Grab? What is Grab trying to solve here, people? Come on. Transportation, public transportation. We don't like to take taxis. Sorry, no offense to any taxi drivers here. We don't like to take taxis. So Grab and Uber then was there to solve that I don't like to take taxi. For women, is that I don't feel safe taking taxi. For general everyone, I don't like to haggle for price. For parents, I am worried if my kids, right, will take taxi and don't know where they are. So you're seeing that Grab and Uber actually fulfills that need. So we need to ask that in our business before even we start to do advertising. What need do we need to fulfill? Right? And why us? Right? Why us? Because there are competitions who may have fulfilled those needs. All right? So these are very fundamental of marketing. So don't jump straight into do Facebook advertising, Instagram posts, and all these things, right? Start to ask yourself the question, what is your mission today? What is the mission to solve the society problem? Because one of the things that while today we have a lot of marketplace in Asia, like you have Shopee, Spotify, Lazada, and all those things, right? They do marketing for you, right? They look at marketing for you, but the thing is that what they don't do is that they don't actually convert those shoppers, I call them window shoppers, window shoppers, into your customers. They will bring window shoppers to you in their platform, but they are not responsible to convert them to a customer. That is your responsibility. So today, if you're working with marketplace players like Lazada, Shopify and all this, you need to have a website. You need to start doing branding on top of just social media. Right? So these are top 5 companies that is good for promoting your business. I think last week we had a session on Google marketing. Right? So Google is the #1 company because they do what I call intent marketing. Intent. I-N-T-E-N-T. Intent. Intention. So when you have any intention, just say for example, a very not very important intentions like where is the best place to go for char kway teow? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to show disrespect during the Ramadan period. Sorry. So let me give me another example, right? Say for example, if you want to look for something, right? What do? The first thing you do. In Malaysia slang, we call it Google lah, right? So Google is the #1 website that Malaysians or even the whole wide world goes to, except China, except Taiwan. So China, the equivalent of a search engine is called Baidu. Right? Baidu. And in Taiwan is Yahoo. Yeah? So, but majority in Malaysia, we use Google. Right? So Google is a very, very important, what you call marketing tool to promote your business. Because when people key in a keyword, it shows what? Their intention. Google does is that they display what I call a classified ad. Many moons ago, there's this newspaper called Malay Mail. Okay, I know all blank faces here, all right? Yeah, with the exception of few. It's a 120-year-old newspaper, but since last year they have gone completely online under the Malay Mail Online, right? So those days when I was young working, they had what you call a classified section, right? Whereby people from Kuantan, when they come here to work, they will look for room to let. So these are all classified ads. And today, Google is doing all the classified ads. Okay? Why? It's super useful. You need to look for rooms. You need to look at selling your cars, right? So Google is all about classified ads, if you were to think about that. Right? You have an intention and you are served an ad. Right? So that is super relevant in your business. Second one, of course, is Facebook. Everybody is very familiar with. The third one is YouTube. So I have 3 boys. They're 16, 14, and 11. So my 11th boy and my 14-year-old boy. One day I asked them, so son, you know your papa works very hard to provide you good education, right? So I'm expecting a little bit of a ROI here, return of investment, right? Okay, so when you grow up, what do you want to be? Instantaneously, both of them say, I want to be a YouTuber. My heart sank, okay? My heart sank. I mean, nothing wrong to be a YouTuber, right? But you'll be competing with millions and millions of YouTubers, all right? Yeah, and they told me, says, Pa, even this 8-year-old boy in Philippines by the name of Ryan, right? 8-year-old boy is making about US 12 million a year, just reviewing toys. So check them out, check Ryan out in Ryan's Toy Review in YouTube, and you'll see, both the parents are like chasing after him, with the camera and doing, the YouTubing, right? Yeah. So YouTube today is our social TV. Think about it. For many marketeers or many businesses, it's always very expensive to be on TV, right? Yeah, it's expensive to advertise on prime time. But now today you can. You can have a YouTube channel. You can have a social TV, right? and you can start your TV station. Same thing, you can do your podcast and so forth, right? And then emails. Emails is one of the applications that is most popular amongst everyone, right? So emails are very personal. Some use for work, but we use our emails for what? Right nowadays, we use our emails to log into many applications, right? To register in any website. So today, I suggest that you create many emails. Okay? So don't give away your work email and your very personal email, especially those people got Hotmail. Who has Hotmail? Okay. If you don't want to raise your hand, it's fine. Okay? Alright? Yeah? So don't give away your email away. Create many other emails. Because Facebook can track you. Right? They can use your information and they can actually track you down and serve you an ad that you may not want to see. Okay? So emails are very powerful today. And the last one is basically display. This is basically Google AdWords. Okay? So I just want to give you an overview that today, to promote your e-commerce business, is not just social media. That's the point I want to say. Okay, so we know that social media is one of the key generator for footfall. So if you have business, you have a brick and mortar business, one of the key things is what? Footfall, right? Customers walk into your shop, right? That's the most important thing. So for your online store, which is your e-commerce, social media is one of the key driver, right? That drives. So the first thing we want to do is to drive people to our e-store. E-store. That's the first thing that you need to do in marketing. So then pose a big question. Why should people come to your store? Right? Why should people come to your store? That is the question that you need to ask before you start doing advertising. Yeah? So, one of the key things that we do in terms of driving footfall is this term that we use in marketing called lead generation. Lead. So lead is basically your prospective customer. Your prospective customer, not your customer yet, but your potential customer. Alright? And many of you have done your business for a while already, and you roughly know the profile of your customer. Alright? So the thing is that what we want to do is to create leads. And leads can be cold leads. And what are those cold leads? One day, you receive a call from your mobile phone. Number unknown. So, how do you feel? Should you take the call? Most times you don't, right? Some more you block it, some more and report. You should do that. So a lot of telemarketers who does what I call cold leads, they randomly call. So even if you have a conversation with them, they will tell you, oh, you have been referred to by your friend. Then you ask them, which friend? Oh, no, you don't know. My manager passed to me your number. So I call you, lor. Right? Yeah? So those are cold leads. And we know cold leads are not a good lead. In fact, you annoy them. So when we want to talk about lead generation, we're talking about getting warm lead. So later on, I'll share with you what defines a warm lead. Yeah? What defines a hot lead? What defines a sizzling lead? Wow, got a kind of level, a few levels of kind of leads, right? So I'll share that with you. So social media today has this platform or this feature in social media advertising. They have a feature where they can do, like for example, in Facebook, it's called Facebook Business Page. Alright? So, and when you have a Facebook business page for your business, you can also do Instagram also. It's together. So, you all know, right? Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, they all belong to one company, right? Now, that's scary. That's scary. Because they have about close for an individual, they have close to about 400,000 data points about you. 400,000 data points about you. What you eat, where you are, when your anniversary is going to be, right? They also know whether you have a newborn baby, or they also know. They also know your friends of friend. They also know whether you are renting a room or you are staying in a family house. They know a lot about you, okay? Yeah, just by these 3 apps altogether. So social media ad audience creation that is aligned to your unique customer segmentation, right? It's very key. So basically the things that you know the profile of your customers, you need to segmentize them. So use that knowledge of who your customers are, right? And especially some of you have what I call a CRM database. How many of you got CRM database? Big word, huh? It's actually customer relationship management, right? So when somebody comes to your shop, buy something, right? The cashier will punch something, right? And then we'll put in your credit card if you pay with your credit card, right? So all this information should be saved in what I call a CRM database. And then you can use this database, right? And actually put into the Facebook business manager page, right? The tools, right? The features that they have. And ask Facebook to look for those audiences. Those who have been your customers before. And ask them and give them a good offer so that they will buy again from you. Okay? So that's customer audience. That's what I call unique customer segmentation. Okay, big word. All right, don't worry. So for next 40 minutes, I will share with you more in simple terms. All right? So social media today provides you quality leads. Right? Quality leads. This is what we want. We want quality customers, right? We don't want any Tom, Dick, Harry to walk into our store, right? All right? So we want quality leads. Okay, so let's just give you a visual in terms of what I mean by, for example, Facebook. Facebook has this feature that can bring you quality leads. Okay, so you must have a website. So when you have a website, somebody comes and visit your website. And in your website, normally you have 3 sections in your website. So website is like a book. In a book has many chapters. So chapter 1 is homepage, is the door of your page, of your website. Second one is category pages. So if you're doing, like for example, furnitures, if you're selling furnitures, by the way, if you are thinking of setting up an e-commerce business, right? One of the business you go in is called furniture. And I'll tell you why afterwards. It's a multi-billion business in Malaysia. People buy actually furnitures from e-commerce, you know. Right? So if you're buying, for example, this is a furniture website. So you have your home page, which basically tells you what is your mission, what problems are you trying to solve for furniture buyers. That should be in your home page. Then secondly, you have the category pages. So furniture's got many types, right? Got dining tables, got cabinets, and so forth, so forth. Those are categories. Then your product pages are, say for example, within the category page, mattresses, okay, bed and mattresses, right? Then you got different types, right? You got a double deck, you got the king size bed, you got the triple king size. Nowadays, that 3 or 4 people will sleep in the same bed. All right, so you get a picture, right? So that's why you need to have a website. So when you promote, when you do your Facebook advertising or Instagram, when they click, what happened? Where do they go to? They go to a website. Exactly, right? You don't want them to linger in Facebook because your products and services are not found in Facebook. Even though they have this feature called the catalog. You can actually put your catalog of your products on Facebook, but you don't want that. You don't want Facebook to know so much things. You want to take some control in your buyer's journey. So therefore you need to have a website, right? So when you have an ad, when you do an ad on social media, when they click, they should go directly to one of your product pages, not your home page. not even your category. So what that means? Your ad must be very, very specific. It's not a generic ad that you put on a newspaper. One ad for everybody. Because today, digital marketing is about personalization. Right? Do you know that if you want to target one person in Facebook, you can do that? It's a combination of what I call custom audience and safe audience. Right? Say, for example, sir, I know your email. What's your email address? What's your email address? Okay, you don't have to tell me, right? All right. Say, what's your name? Huh? Gui, O-O-I. G-O-I. Gui, So his account is gui@gmail.com. And he uses that, for example, to log into his Facebook. And what I can do is that I can get his email and put into the custom audience targeting in Facebook, his email, right? And then tell Facebook, I just want to send my message only directly to him. And then my ad be so personalized that I can say, hi Gui, right? It's not like, hello dear all. Sometimes the emails that you receive, they don't even address your name, right? Right? Can personalize. How do I know? How can I target him? Right? So today's social media has that kind of capability. Whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, right? They have the kind of precision that they can even target one individual. So that boils down to the question, why should I target that one individual? Let's say Gui is he's a CEO of a multinational corporation company, right? Right? He runs the whole Asia. And I run a training, training service. I'm a training service provider, right? I train people in digital marketing. So it's worthwhile for me to target Gui, right? Because Gui has about like 15,000 staff in Asia. So I personalize the message to him while he's scrolling in his Facebook. Because I think Gui will be very, very super impressed, right? With me, right? How do you know? Wow, this ad talks to me, addressed to me, personalized. And that's the power of social media today. Right? So you can reach millions of people, or you can even reach one individual. Yeah? That's the power of social media today. Okay? So this is how I can target Gui, right? Because Facebook, for example, has this targeting called retargeting audience. So how do I get Gui's email? So let me just give you an example, right? So one day I wrote an article in LinkedIn, which is basically 10 reasons why your baby boomer employee should learn about digital tools. That's my headline, right? Baby boomers. Because we know baby boomers today, those who are 65 and above are called baby boomers, right? They have wealth of experience in the company, right? And wealth of network, right? So if you don't digitalize their knowledge and their network, and if they leave or they die, right? All this will be taken away from the company, right? So I read an article about that. And of course, Gui runs a very successful multinational corporation, right? He'll be very concerned about his baby boomer employees. So then I said here, if you want to learn more about how 5 ways your baby boomers who are your employees can adopt digital tools, give me your email. So I write an article. That's how I get Gui's email address. You see what I mean? Because I'm giving him value, right? And I'm not even selling right now. I'm not even selling. I understand that he has this problem. And I'm giving him a solution. No more selling. And as a result of that, this is what I call branding. I become a thought leader, right? Right? When you read this article, right? Yeah? And you have developed that trust and credibility because and the things that you time of what they call reciprocal, because I give that content for you for free, you know, the well-researched content, you know, for free, you know, right? So would you give me your email? You would, because you have many emails, right? But with that email, I'm able to target him again. That's what retargeting is all about. And in Facebook today, for those who have been using Facebook, doing Facebook advertising, website custom audiences is one of the most powerful remarketing tool that you should do. You should never, when you advertise, when you want to do a posting on Facebook, you should never click on boost. You know the blue button, boost. You should never do that. You are just making Facebook reach your need, because that one is the blind targeting. You boost to everyone, even though you can do some profiling. Some of my clients, even from big companies, they tell me this, David, when I do a Facebook ad, how come I get a lot of foreigners? How many of you get foreigners here? Yeah. So that's because you don't do what you call your targeting right. And use that feature. You should use your ad manager, Facebook ad manager, and use save audience, and then, for example, use custom audience and lookalike audience. I will share with you what is all these three things, right, afterwards. Okay, 20 more minutes. Is everybody okay so far? Okay, yeah? Right. So Facebook lookalike, which is the second very powerful features, is basically taking in your current customers, right? Your current customers, and then what they do is that they will try to look kind of like a similar characteristic of your current customers in their database. That means what other people who can be your prospect customers. And that's very powerful, right? Because they're getting new customers for you. That's what lookalike is all about, right? So now with our mobile smartphones, the experience is everywhere. And we know today, customers is in charge of the buying process. So just because we have an ad, just because we have a website, that doesn't mean that our prospective customer or also the lead will what? Interact or come to our website, right? They will not. They're in charge, right? And it always stands what I call, as quote unquote from Google, the micro moments. When you really need something, you will then check out your phone, right? And this is where you do everything with your phone. And that's where going back to intent marketing, right? Intention, right? So knowing for the fact that your customers are in charge, you are in charge. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are in charge. Tell your neighbor, you are in charge, right? Today businesses no longer has the full control. Not like those Henry Ford days, right? Henry Ford, the creator of cars, automobile. Only one color, black color only. Take it or leave it, right? It's sold like hotcakes. Today you have a product. Say for example, you're selling handphone cases. And by the way, that's a very good business. Handphone cases. They sell a lot of handphone cases, right? So the question is that, why should I buy from you? What's so special about your handphone cases, right? You see what I mean? You get the picture, right? So as much as it's very easy to advertise in social media, it's very hard to stay competitive. It's very hard. You need to stand out. So you really got to think of your business model first. What is the problem they're trying to solve? Before you jazz up your creative visuals with nice, you can hire designers and put nice pictures and all these things, but at the end of the day, customers will still evaluate, should I buy from you or not? Right? Should I proceed to pay at the cart or not? Because cart and abandonment, cart abandonment means that I place a lot of stuff from the online store, right? I think I like this, I put here one unit. I like that, I put that one. After that, there's a listing of that. Then they never proceed to the next page, which is the payment particulars, right? And make payment, right? So about close to 60-80% of cases falls under cart abandonment. And there are many, many reasons, right? Which I hope to share afterwards. Okay, so some statistics for you, which is very important. Okay, just know from this chart, these are basically device use in Malaysia. So, two things. Malaysians use a lot of handphones, right? So, very obvious statistics here. But what I want to highlight from you is that between smartphone and laptop, you see the number here? 88%, right? Only 41%. So, I'm not saying that you should only focus on smartphones when you do your marketing. Also focus in terms of your laptop. Just make sure your website is mobile friendly. Right? So when I say mobile friendly means that your website is able to resize according to the different type of screen format. Whether it's big or small, portrait, landscape. It's called mobile friendly. So when you engage a website developer, make sure you must ask them, is it mobile friendly or not? Or is it responsive design or not? Right? And the thing is that for e-commerce, right, there are many, many studies shown, right, which I want to give you the key highlights, is that many times for big ticket items, people will buy from where? From the desktop. With the exception of travel, because I know a lot of you also buy airline tickets, especially Air Asia from your mobile, right? Wow, you know, next 2 weeks, Nuzul Quran, holiday, or in between, you know, if I take 1 day leave, I get 5 days holiday. Where to go? They call it impulse travel, right? Let's check out what? Our Air Asia app. And you can instantly book the app, right? You can book your tickets from there. So, but a general rule of thumb is that big ticket items, like furniture, people normally will buy from the desktop. So, and when do people use desktop? When they are at home, or when they are in office during lunchtime. But when they are out and about, they will normally use their smartphones. So smartphones are normally small items, like, you know, food coupon and things like that, right? And even things like accessories, like phone cases, they use a lot through their smartphones. All right. So bear in mind. So when you do your communication, when you do your advertisement, be mindful, because a lot of times we all very kiasu. You know what I mean by kiasu? In our advertisement, we don't put everything in there. Yeah? We don't put everything, every single thing in there. So imagine in your smartphone, so small screen, even the biggest one is 6.2 inch. It's still smaller, right? And you wouldn't want to put so many things in there that's so hard to see. Especially for people like me, I know I'm 47, so I need bifocal lens, right? So it's very hard for me to see all the small, tiny font size, right? So be mindful, right? So be mindful of that. So, case in point here, smartphones and laptops, right? So big ticket items generally is through laptops, right? Small items that is not much of a risk to buy through their smartphones. So even in brick and mortar today, people are holding their phones, scanning barcodes, right? So we know today QR code is super important today. So if you don't use QR code today, start thinking about using QR code. Because you can buy durians with QR code. In SS2, don't believe me, SS2 durian, right? You can buy, right? Using the QR code. Because today we have a lot of mobile wallets, right? Even Maybank is tied up, right? And have a mobile wallet with Samsung. Alright, so all you need to do. So we all know it's cheaper to buy, right? Sorry. Cheaper to buy. Okay, the reason why we buy online, because consumers today are very smart, like yourself. We are all chasing for good deals, right? Yeah? So we go and buy, say something in a brick and mortar shop. What's the first thing we do? We pick up and we go to Lazada. Then we tell the sales advisor, hey, Lazada cheaper lah. So how? So you were seeing the salesman sweating, right? That's the power of consumers today, right? So we know that we are always looking for cheap deals. But in business, we can never continue to do our business by offering cheap price, right? Because there will become a point where your cost of selling is higher, right? Lower than your cost of purchase of your goods. True or not? Right? So you can never compete just on price. Because you come one day, you can no longer compete on price anymore. And this is where branding comes in. Right? Branding is very important. Alright? So, in terms of e-commerce activity, you can see here that 88% of people actually search online, right, for products and service. Remember the word ROPO, research online, purchase online. Yeah? So, a majority of Malaysian, this is data on Malaysian, very recent, January 2019, right? So, and they have 88% will have visited a retail store on any devices. They have purchased product services online, 75%, and 44% would have bought through their desktops. Yeah? And they make on 58% are making purchase through mobile. So these are staggering numbers, right? Staggering numbers, which will dictate our digital marketing strategy. Yeah? All right. So if you look at this profile here, social media, basically, these are what I call digital natives. All right? And these are the Gen Ys, and these are the Gen X, which is my generation, and these are the baby boomers. Okay? So as much as you can see that social media, right, is really working around the digital natives, right, we mustn't neglect the baby boomers too. And let me tell you why. Because the millennials who are following this, they have no time, no money. The baby boomers, even though it's a small percentage, they got money and they got time. So take your pick. Okay? So if you look at social media advertising audience, in today, advertising audience that you can actually target on in Facebook is 24 million, 12 millions for Instagram, 2.63 in Twitter, 1.65 in Snapchat. Right? Just know that all your kids right now are not in Facebook anymore. They are in Snapchat. Alright? Yeah? And LinkedIn. Right? So LinkedIn is very good for B2B marketing. So if your clients are corporations, big corporations, you use LinkedIn. But for today's topic, I'm talking about Facebook. Okay? Yeah? So all these four companies, four platforms, they belong to one company. They belong to Mark Zuckerberg. Okay? So in digital, when we do social media, your consumers leave a lot of digital footprints, a lot of information, right? So, like for example, how much data does Facebook have on one user alone? Yeah, this much. So if you add all up, it's about more than 400,000 data points about one individual. That's tons of data on you. Okay? So, and how does Facebook use this data? I will not elaborate so much on this. You can download this in Slack shares, and then you can find out the reason, right? But basically, it's the social plugin. You know, in some of the websites, do you see these icons, these button shapes, right? So Facebook get their data when you visit a website and have a social plugin button in there. Okay, so they use this. And Facebook has a lot of analytics that they can even use the IP address, yeah, to list the countries where they're from. So this is particularly important for those businesses who are doing export business. Yeah, export business, right? Because Malaysia economy not so great, so we need to widen our market. right? So we use our social media to do that. So cookies. And one of the things that, you know, a lot of times when you want to use a very powerful feature of Facebook, for example, is what I call Facebook Pixel. How many of you have a Facebook Pixel on your website? Show of hands. Okay, only one, right? Yeah? So Facebook Pixels are basically a short code, right? A program code that is installed in your website so that Facebook can know what are the activities that when people come to your website, which page they go into, and then can use this information to do retargeting, right? Okay? So, these are the average engagement, but just want to show you the numbers are actually very low. Why is it very low? So when you do a post on Facebook, that doesn't mean that people will see it, right? Yeah, it's very low because, you know, Facebook users have a very different mindset when it comes to what they call your Facebook. Okay, so when we do a post, right, without a proper strategy, what happens is that it's like going for a kiss for the first 5 minutes in a day, right? You're hoping people to interact with you. 99% of the time, it doesn't end up well. It's because you need to build relationship, and it takes time, right? And trust needs to be earned. So the things that if Facebook audiences and consumer mindset are very different because people generally don't visit Facebook actively searching for product or services, right? True? Okay, and in fact it takes about 6 to 9 times, right, before they actually buy your product. So you need to constantly reach them, but don't reach them to the point that you annoy them, right? So you need to do frequency cap when you do your advertisement, right? Yeah. So it is very important to look at micro conversion, which is basically moving your prospect through a marketing funnel, and this is what I'm going to show you by providing and increasing what I call shared value, a good value for you and also a good value to your customer. Okay. So social media has provided that. So let's now, in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to zip through this, right? And if you have any questions about the marketing funnels, I'm free to see you and take that call. I mean, you know, and enlighten you. Okay? So this is the marketing touch points for the buying funnels. So for a shopper, a window shopper to become what they call a purchaser, right? Somebody who purchases from you, they go through many marketing touch points, right? They go through different medias and channels, okay? So as a business, you need to stand out in this cluttered environment. Yeah, you need to stand out in this cluttered environment. So with so many user points, interaction points, it seems like, you know, you can sometimes feel overwhelmed. And that's where the pro about outsourcing your social media marketing to somebody else who's an expert and let you focus on the business, that is the value of outsourcing, right? And in fact, 9 out of 10 times I will ask you to outsource, right? Save time and use the money for you to focus on your business strategy. Okay, so we want to boost conversion and retention. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the funnel, right? This is called the funnel. The funnel basically starts from awareness to interest right down to advocacy, right? So it doesn't only stop just in purchase because we want our customers to keep on buying for us, right? And therefore, it's a sign of what I call loyalty. And this is where we want our customers to rave about us. And in Facebook advertising funnel, there are many features that you can look at, which I talk about custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and even product page custom audiences, add target to cart. All these are the features that will help your customers from being cold to become sizzling hot, right? So this is a framework that you can use. So I cannot suggest that you download this, right? You go download this and then study this and later on get my emails, my phone numbers, and you know, feel free to ask me about this process. Okay? So in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to just zip through this. I'm not going to say anything, just to give you a preview of what the marketing funnel is all about. Okay? So this is the marketing funnel. So at level 1, we talk about awareness, right? It's about building trust. This is where branding is. So at this stage, it's a very cool audience. So you need to do what I call the buyer's persona. You need to understand what are their goals and what are their frustrations, and what solutions are you trying to offer to them before you do any marketing, right? So in audience, Facebook audience source, you can do lookalike audiences based on your website visits, right? You can do videos, those people who have seen your videos in Facebook, and obviously a customer profile, right? Okay, so this is the pixel that I'm talking about. You can't do your pixels in Ad Manager, you only can do it on the Business Manager page. So you need to turn your Facebook page into a business page, right? Then you only can activate this feature, because your individual page only allows you to have only one pixel. But in your business page, you can do many, many pages, right? So you need to do that, right? So, and these are all connected to all the marketplace players, these pixels, and you can grow your audience, or you can manually put it on your website, okay? So this is an example of how a pixel look like. So in my website, I have 3 pixels. I have the Google Analytics pixels, I have the Facebook pixels, and the Insights, the LinkedIn pixels too, right? So that I can manage and do measurements and do retargeting, okay? So standard events. So then from here, you can do things like guides, tips, downloadable PDF, short webinars, blog posts at the first level itself. Okay. Second level is basic interest. You want to basically move your audience from somebody who's aware to interest. And the things that you can do at this level, as they are warm audiences, is that you can do things like, for example, this part here, right? So ahead of Ramadan, we look at how the months-long fast may affect your visit. No selling, right? Very top-end articles, right? So these are the things that you can do. You can come up with articles, then it leads into your website. Okay. So example, Rigate Plus. If you look at this page itself, they have a video. What exactly is a travel insurance? And this is where they land into their category page, right? Here. So you can do things like, for example, ad clicks, video views, page view content. So these are all the interactions with your posting and your website, so that you can have this information, you can retarget them, right? Because they already know you. That's why it's called a warm audience, okay? So you can create instant audiences. Just let me just go through this part here. So you can create lead magnets, for example, right? So you can offer, what they call vouchers, right? Promotions to attract them. So you can do a landing page. A landing page is basically a very specific page that you are offering to your potential leads. Yeah. And then the third part here is consideration, where you want to actually move the person who's interested in your product or service category to a more specific page, more specific product offering. So temperature is a bit cozy right now. And this is where I want just to highlight, and before I end, right? For e-commerce companies, this is actually a gold mine. You need to use one feature in Facebook called the Dynamics Product Ads, right? Where they can actually mix and match your inventories of creative and your product listings, right? And serve that into one ad to the most appropriate audience, right? So it's very powerful. So it's done all automatically, but the setup is very, very laborious. And this is where you need the expert to do this for you. Because I can be sure if you do this by yourself, you will cry. You will wake you up at night, okay? Yeah? So, coming on to this level 3, we then will move on to what I call purchase, glowing, and sizzling.